right after you graduated, you started a record label named Manny Strong Records after your uncle. So talk about Uncle Man.
So my Uncle Man, is my biggest living mentor. I would say, God is the ultimate mentor. But my grandma's and mom's. But my Uncle Man, bro, he was incarcerated at like 2022 for framed by the 39th District, Philadelphia 39th District Police for murder. They all off of hearsay. It's absurd. To the point where they got a smoker, forced him, gave him a script, forced him to learn this. Bro, this shit, wait till y'all see the movie, because it's definitely a movie and y'all gonna see it. Forced him to learn the script to the point where they brought his girlfriend in there. He having sex in the DA's office with his girlfriend while they forced him to learn the script. Of overhearing my uncle and somebody talking about a murder, and the whole DA, Roger King, and city of Philadelphia, colluded to frame him. Why? Because he had 22, he had several properties, a real estate owner, he had a storefront apartment, 3-story apartment complex at 18th Ontario where Lil Rucky, Long Live Rucky, mural was at. He had a club on Germantown, Allegheny, right across the street from Carmen Skating Ring over there, and a couple other properties. And that's what they was doing back then. It was racist, taking Mumia, that's why he took him off. He was a journalist writing about, journalism about what was happening in the community.
Uncle Man was a journalist.
No, I'm saying Mumia,
okay.
Abu Jamal, so I'm saying my uncle, we got political prisoners. So that's why when we talk about freeing people and pardons going out, and, niggas is rocking with Donald Trump because he pardoned Kodak Black, and, that's really something if we don't, and niggas be like, oh, making excuses for shit like what Diddy and them doing. No, we need justice for niggas like my Uncle Man that's locked up for being honorable. The Black Panthers and all that. We don't need these niggas that got position and out here playing fucking games with money and fucking and doing all this nut shit. When they know. Fucking Puff Daddy was at Howard University. All the intelligence and accolades we give to these niggas for shit, and niggas making this, those is not the niggas we want to use justice and advocate for. My uncle and political prisoners that was doing the right thing and the government framed them with murder and did all types of crazy shit is who justice is for. Not these rapists and murderers that are doing stuff that with the freedoms that people that stood for principle did. We wouldn't be around here doing none of this shit. If it wasn't for Malcolm X and Dr. King, they didn't take a stand so niggas could be pimps and fucking sell drugs and all that shit. That's why we can do that. It ain't because the drug dealers freed us. The drug dealers didn't free the motherfucking slaves off the slave ship. It was people that, believers. It was believers all the way across the board. All the way across the board, it was Christians and Muslims that freed the slaves and that ever did anything for the people, for mankind. And now, as a people, bro, we be, but I went on that because my uncle was locked up and mentored me from jail. And I started Manny Strong Records because to free him. The goal was, I knew with my passion for music, I already knew the business that you can make a lot of money off of one hit. So I mixed my passion with entrepreneurship and been building it ever since. We built the catalog of Manny Strong Records. And then, I launched the I'm Looking for Curtis Jackson campaign because I looked at the game and saw out of all the executives that was on top, it was Puffy, it was Hove, it was Dre, M, and now 50. And Dre and M was kind of like, they had 50, so they was falling back and not so active. So it really was just 50, Hove, Baby and them. But out of all the executives, he was the only one that had the most had integrity. All of the rest of their artists, didn't really had no integrity. So I chose him. So I say that to say, my uncle Manny Strong, his entrepreneurship. I grew up in his building. My mom, when she moved out of my grandma's crib, she moved in her brother's building. So we lived there, in his apartment building. And we had a store that we, at first the family ran, and then we let the Spanish people rent it from us. and we own that. So I grew up in entrepreneurship. I grew up in being a victim of the city of Philadelphia police corruption. So when people talking about, getting active and mobilized, I was born into having to advocate for my family because of injustice. So when I'm out here doing this community activism, it's primarily personal for me.